I just read how a famous promoter who is partly a club owner in one of the NBA major league clubs in New York lost $800 out of the $5,800 cost of producing an ad for the Knicks back then. But at the end of the day, gained a lot more into eight figures, having a company that started producing exactly what he lost on originally. And today he is a multi-successful business owner. Now let's rewind and take a peep into that history. He said he did a jingle for the Knicks and he wanted to give it to them. And he couldn't reach someone who could influence it. Now he eventually got the wife of someone who was on the Knicks coaching team to hear one of the jingles, and she liked it. And she said, well, I think if you could do something for the Knicks, that would be like for them, it's going to work well. So he did that job, the music, the song, the theme song. It cost him $5,800. And then he gave it to them for $5,000. Taking that loss made him to get into the NBA because when that song got into the locker room and that song became a sensation, everyone started asking, oh, if he could do that for the Knicks, then he could do something for us. Different brands started to come. And what started out as him taking a loss on that deal turned out to be what made him to have a company that specialized only in doing that. So everyone started making calls and saying, look, you need to do exactly what you did for them, for us. And he started going back into the studio, cooking up something new for each and every one of them. And then built an 8-figure company that was sold at 8 figures much later. His experience reminds me of my own experience in doing radio commercials. First of all, doing music. And then I took a demo. A demo cost me a studio session, cost me a session man, cost me mixing and mastering. I did a demo for a particular brand, took it to the brand manager, and they said, no, they don't like this. And another brand manager heard that job and said, you know what? Can you do something for Airtel? Yeah, the Airtel that you know. Can you do something for Airtel like this? And I'm like, say no more. I brought them something for Airtel. The first one they heard, they said, okay, can you make this a little bit more Niger-like, put in some pidgin and some stuffs like that. So I went back into the studio, turned the jingle around for something that was upbeat, turned it into something very local. And as soon as I sent it in to them the next day, I got an approval. It's going to go. And guess what? That initial loss I got on the other brand that I presented to the other brand manager now turned out to be a long-term deal with Airtel. I did the first one for Airtel. I did another one for Airtel. And each of those deals, as I then, a couple of years back, quite a long time, was 250,000 naira. Now that's when naira was naira, right? Over 10 years ago. And that moved, I made over $1 million doing different jingles for Airtel. Now, this is not someone else's story. This is my story. What are the key learnings from this? Whatever industry you find yourself in, get ready to take some L's. And those L's might be in the demos you need to prepare, your proof of concept. Remember that if you're in the movie industry and you need to get something out to your investors, you need a proof of concept. It will cost you money. It's going to cost you actors, getting people on set to shoot what will look like what you want it to be eventually. Number 2, if you're an architect and you're trying to get into entrepreneurship in that area, you're going to invest in doing prototypes. You're going to invest in things that can show the level and quality of your job. If you're into fashion, you have to get some of your clothes together and get people to wear it and, of course, sell you to those new audiences. In investment, you call it your sunk cost. If you are a producer, you call it the cost of doing your demos. And know that all of these costs are technically losses, but looking at them in another way, they are also investments. So not every investment seems like making you a return immediately, but some investments will eventually make you a return. So as you sink them into your project, know that in the long term, they will bring you good results. So don't run away from making those investments because in the long run, they will come back to benefit you. If you're always looking at every engagement as a means to make the kill, as a means to cash out, then you're going to push away a lot of opportunities which will initially come looking like they are losses. But eventually they turn out not to be losses. I'm Tito, and I'll see you at the next one.